So the Calgary Flames just keep winning. Hey, that's just going to be a thing they continue to do as they pick up a victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins last night. For more of my thoughts, you can check out Game Over Calgary as myself and Matt broke it all down on the Game Over Calgary YouTube channel last night. In fact, I will just quickly, oh no, that's the next game. I'll quickly throw that one into the chat for those of you who are checking this one out live. But yes, for the Flames, again, this I think is going to look more like what Calgary Flames wins look like for the upcoming season. They battled. They played really hard. Right? Like, there was no question about the effort or anything like that. They had some really good chances. Pittsburgh's goalie, Nedeljkovic, actually looked quite good. And they created a few opportunities, but defensively, they were doo-doo. And significantly worse than doo-doo, I would say. There were so many great chances that Pittsburgh got. I think looking at natural stat trick last night, it was 12-4 high danger chances in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Like, the better team did not win that game last night. And heading over, let's take a look quickly. I forgot to look at this before we got this thing going. Let's look at the money puck deserve to win-o-meter from last night. As, oh boy, a lot of scrolling, a lot of games last night, hey? But let's go down to it. Oh man, they have a lot of things on here right now. Okay, so it's loading up. We'll get to it in a second. But for the Flames, like I said, this is what it's going to look like. They're going to have to really try to battle for everything they get offensively. Their goaltending is going to need to be strong because the defense isn't that great. And the thing that was a little bit concerning last night was some of the not great defense was coming from the guys who you would expect to be great defensively in Rasmus Andersson. Now, offensively, he comes up with the goal. He does the staring dagger thing, and it's amazing, and we love it. But I just worry about putting that kind of workload on Dustin Wolf. And I think that is the biggest positive coming out of this game. And Matt and I discussed this on Game Over, is that you have a young goalie who was just pushed to the absolute limit by this hockey team, a talented hockey team in the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he, for the most part, stood his ground. The second goal, the Raquel goal, doesn't look amazing. It just kind of squeaks through there and is kind of gross. But I think aside from that, like he definitely kept out way more really good high danger chances than he allowed that one to go through. So it's a net positive, I think, for Dustin and Wolf. And that is the biggest thing coming out of this, is that Dustin Wolf continues to show that any concerns about him not being an NHL goalie, I think were a little unfounded. And he is going to continue, I think, to build that momentum up and continue to roll as the Flames goaltender. Dan Vladar has been awesome as well. And it is a good spot to be in where both of your goalies are playing really, really effectively right away. A couple other things that kind of stood out for me that game. I do really enjoy what I keep screwing them up. Backlund and Coleman did last night. I thought, and this season, I thought offensively they were great. I thought they did a really good job of creating great chances every time they were out there. The Backlund, Coleman, Zari line was the only line that had a above 50% expected goals for last night. They were the only ones that were creating more opportunities than they were giving up. And again, I do want to say, like, it feels like I'm being a little bit negative. But like I said in the beginning, this is what this Flame season I thought was going to be from the beginning, and certainly I think is still going to be like as the year goes on. I thought, as they are currently constituted, the Calgary Flames played about as well as you could ask them to. It's just the Pittsburgh Penguins, objectively, are a better hockey team than they are, and treated the Flames as such everywhere but the scoreboard last night. And they had a pretty dreadful first period and came out in the second period and just were like, oh, you guys think you're going to get the puck this period? How cute. They just dominated, I thought, Calgary. And so again, like all these things that I'm saying, I don't think anyone on the Flames played particularly on the Flames offense anyway, played particularly poorly. It's just that they aren't as good as the Penguins are, and the Penguins demonstrated that. But I thought Backlund, Coleman, and Zari, they, again, created these opportunities in the way that the Flames are going to have to get their opportunities all season long. Really strong work on the boards, funnel it toward the front of the goal, and get some chances. And Zari and Coleman had a couple of grade A scoring chances, but it is just every time they are out there doing that, it is leading to something really, really good for this team. Kadri and Kuzmenko, Matt asked me about it last night. I I still think it's something you stick with and still kind of build that chemistry. It just feels like they're so close so many times. They create one or two opportunities. It's like, okay, this is it. It just needs to get that consistency now from a Flames standpoint. But now they have another tough test in the Carolina Hurricanes, who beat the Edmonton Oilers on the Frozen Frenzy night or anything like that, or whatever it was called, sorry. And it's going to be kind of more of the same. I would be interested to see what kind of tweaks are actually made to the lineup. With Rooney potentially coming back, I kind of would rather see Kirkland stay in the lineup and he stay on a line with Rooney and Lomberg, and maybe Klapka goes back to the American Hockey League. Not that he's been bad, but I just think Kirkland has earned his opportunity to stick around on this team for now, and I would like to see that be rewarded. And so even if you just put Rooney on the wing and let Kirkland continue to develop as a National Hockey League center, I think that's probably the way you would want this thing to go right now for the Flames. And then maybe you bring in a Hanley defensively just to give maybe a little bit more structure and a little more soundness to this game. And also, it's now 7 games in a row that he hasn't played. You would just, if he is going to be an emergency option for you, you would like for him to have played a game sometime this month. So that might be something that I would potentially look at as well. But overall, a win's a win for the Flames, and the vibes immaculate around the Calgary Flames right now. And I do also just quickly want to say that I really, like, last night was fun with the Frozen Frenzy thing. It does kind of set off the schedule a little bit for the next couple of days, right? Like one game on Monday, one game on Wednesday, and then mucho game on Tuesday and Thursday. It does kind of throw things off a little bit, but I don't think that's a bad thing. One of the things that I have had trouble with the NHL throughout the years is that obviously here in Canada, Saturday night's a big night, right? Like, it is hockey night in Canada. That is the night of all the big games. And so if you want to have your one night, that's fine. But the NFL now has got 3. And I mean, like, they've done they have a game on every night of the schedule at some point this year, except for a Tuesday. So they are starting to kind of branch out a little bit. And so I think that you need, for lack of a better term, gimmicks throughout the year to make some nights feel special. You know, like the NBA, one of the things I still ingrained in my brain, and I don't know if this is something that was just, I can't imagine it's just a me thing, but when the NBA was on TBS and TNT back in the early 2000s, like for Raptor fans, when Vince Carter was really doing his thing and getting them on national television, those games during the week were on TBS and TNT, and they had the commercials that they were all in like this jazz bar or something. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They were doing this thing. I'm going to have to find that commercial now. But they built it up and made that a special day. And I think Sportsnet and the NHL have tried some things with that. They have tried, it's Wednesday night hockey. And I think for Canadians, they've done a pretty good job of that. But I think, what was it, Wednesday night rivalry night or something that they tried on NBC Sports or whatever that network was called at that time? They have tried to make things feel like during the week, this is a special thing, and it hasn't really clicked. And so if you want, just like, this is a marquee game on Monday, this is a marquee game on Wednesday, but then Tuesday, Thursday, it's for the hockey fans. These are the days where we're going to go crazy, and we're going to have a Frozen Frenzy on an ESPN, and we're going to have Ice Chips or whatever the fuck it's called on Amazon on Thursday, and you're going to be able to follow all of this hockey, and it's going to be insane. I think having stuff like that to make these things stand out, instead of like, okay, well, they're playing on Tuesday, so guess it's Tuesday. And you do fall into a trap where you don't want every day to feel like, oh my god, it's motherfucking Friday night hockey, baby. Like, that, at some point, not everything can feel special, because then nothing feels special, right? That's almost the exact definition of special. So you do have to kind of balance how often you do these things to try to make it click. But I do think having big nights like this, and nights like what tomorrow is going to be in the NHL, are just fun. And it was fun being on social media with everyone shit talking about their teams and doing all those things. It would have been great if some of the games didn't suck, but because I think actually quite a few of them weren't all that awesome last night. The Flames 4-3. The Hurricanes with a good comeback. You have a couple of close games in here, but then there's the 4-1, 5-1, 8-5, 7-2, 6-2. Leafs. 6-3, 4-0, 4-0, 6-1. You had a lot of blowouts in there. And now, when you have 16 games on a schedule, just the law of big numbers, some of them are going to be blowouts. But it would be nice if a few more of them were a little bit more competitive, but I do think that it was a fun night for the NHL, and I think a really fun thing to keep doing going forward.